So Representative Anna Paulina Luna was on Joe Rogan talking about, UFOs and UAPs. I don't know how they come. This extraterrestrial spaceships that allegedly the United States government has, and interdimensional beings. And I usually don't pay much attention to this, because we would like to have, it's more consistent proof of what they claim. But I went down the rabbit hole and wanted to analyze this clip just to give it a try, right? Representative Luna, based on our investigations, there's definitely something that would rival what we know currently with physics. They call them interdimensional beings. It's really changing the way we understand the origins of life and the spiritual reality that we know. Huge claims need to be backed with huge proof. So let's see what she says.
Now with our investigation and the task force that I run, actually the reason why the task force was formed was because of an event that happened at Eglin Air Force Base, where both myself, Representative Matt Gaetz, and Representative Tim Burchett actually had responded and gone to investigate multiple Air Force pilots that had come forward in regards to UAP.
Yeah, UAP is what they are called now, UAP incidences. So there was an event that there's no details about the events, and that's why she was assigned this task force to investigate
the incidences that had occurred. They were alleging that the Air Force was covering it up.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that was that. And I'm happy to go into detail on that one. But what I will tell you is the stuff that I saw at Eglin, how the military responded, me being, a former service member, and then ultimately.
Yeah, the most important thing is what happened. No, not how the military responded. Not your, no. We wanted to know what happened. So my first reaction was, why would you talk about every single other detail besides the event? We want to know about the event. What does it entail?
Ultimately, what I saw with the pushback of the military not even wanting to share with Congress information, which is a big problem, because when you have Congress that's supposed to be the advocate and voice for the American people, the oversight body, and you're being denied access, not just from a base commander, but high level up at the Pentagon, even Secretary of Defense, it's a problem.
Do you think that it's possible that these are U.S. vehicles that are top secret?
I definitely think that there's a
bad bear in there. Let's see.
A level of advanced technology that the U.S. government has. And I think that tech can be housed within the defense contract realm. And of course, some information is going to be classified. But I can also tell you, and this might sound crazy, but based on our investigations and stuff that we've seen, okay, there is definitely something that I think would rival what we know currently with physics, and a tech that potentially is out there that we don't have the ability to reproduce, because it would basically be like dropping a cell phone right off back during the time of maybe caveman.
So I want to understand a thing here. Okay, let me get this straight. Let's say that the military has this cutting edge technology, and it's a technology so advanced that looks like if you dropped a cell phone in the time of the cavemen, okay? How come just a tiny part of defense knows about this? It is so top secret that not even the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, is aware of this technology. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I don't see it makes sense from the angle that this could be high-tech technology developed by the United States. I'm trying to believe that the UAPs actually exist, right? But then she's saying that, yeah, this is a possibility that there's this technology concealed by the military. How would that be? Is that a thing? Is that possible? Is that even legal? I really don't know. I have so many questions.
So we just don't have the tech to develop it yet. What I can also tell you is, based on our interviews, and this has been something that you can go back and watch with the congressional hearings, but I was actually able to ask some of the witnesses, what are these things? And they keep saying interdimensional. And then when you talk about the interdimensional aspect of, are these things pre-existing, maybe outside of what we currently know as our own dimension?
Yeah, I have a huge problem when we begin talking about interdimensional beings because there's a huge limitations in terms of how can you experience, how can you perceive interdimensional beings if our eyes, if our equipment, if the physics of our three-dimensional world are designed to measure things in our three-dimensional world. How can we, we had a two-dimensional world. I'm gonna explain this with this. It's like let's see, like you had this little fella in this two-dimensional world, right? A piece of paper. He's living in this two-dimensional world. How can this guy, okay, in this just width and length world, interpret what is going in our three-dimensional world? Even if I draw, let's say that if I draw a cube in that, let's say, I'm going to draw a cube right next to him, very nice cube. You can see it, okay? Even if I draw a cube, it would be very hard for that guy to really interpret, really experience what is a three-dimensional cube. So how can we really experience and say, oh yeah, this is a three-dimensional or interdimensional being? Because right here, I have represented a three-dimensional, let's say, object, but in two dimensions. This is still two dimensions. So this guy would say, okay, this you could be talking about your three dimensions, but I still see a two-dimensional thing, even if it's a cube. I don't. You understand, right? It's a limited perception of this little fella. Our limited perception. How can we judge if something is interdimensional or not? I have a lot of trouble understanding that.
That stuff can kind of all sound crazy, but at the end of the day, you know, my job as an investigator is to receive all the information, decipher it, and then ultimately from a congressional aspect, if you do have contractors that are withholding information or operating outside of the purview of the federal government, I mean, there's budgetary issues, but there's definitely something that I can tell you with confidence that exists that we don't know how to explain currently.
Okay, there's something that we don't know how to explain, but we don't know if we have developed it or we have captured it from somewhere else. Very descriptive, very, very vague. It's like the Epstein files.
So when you say that it operates outside our understanding of physics, what specifically are you saying? Like what happened?
To I guess break it down in simple terms is that I think that some of the tech that exists, that whatever these things have, these energy things have.
Energy things? What do you mean?
Well, they call them interdimensional beings. I think that they can actually operate through the time spaces that we currently have.
They can operate through the time spaces we currently have.
I think that they can actually operate through the time spaces that we currently have.
They can operate through the time spaces that we currently have. All right. I don't know what the time spaces are. Okay, it would be. And the funny thing is that she says to, I guess, break it down in simple terms. No, you simply did not break it down, and you really suck at explaining whatever you saw or whatever are these interdimensional beings. Because first you began talking about the things, and then about the beings, and then about time spaces. What?
To I guess break it down in simple terms is that I think that some of the tech that exists, that whatever these things have, these energy things have.
Energy things? What do you mean?
Well, they call them interdimensional beings. I think that they can actually operate through the time spaces that we currently have. And that's not something that I came up with on my own.
That it's interesting that she clarifies that. That's not something I just pull out of my butt.
That's based on stuff that we've seen. That's based on information that we've been told. And then also, too, I think that there's this historical aspect.
Okay, there's a lot of hearsay in there. Noted.
You know, this gets into the deeper theories and concepts of religion, and I think the history that we currently know, and that kind of spins off into another topic of, you have the modern day Bible, you have this aspect of Bibles or books of the Bible that have been removed that explain and kind of touch on these topics. And I think that we're in a time and age where you have such a vast amount of information that we have access to via social media, via your cell phone, via the internet. And so it's really changing the way that we understand, the origins of life and
say so much and nothing about the interdimensional beings. Or what do you mean? The question was, what do you mean about breaking the laws of physics? About what kind of physics laws are they breaking? And she goes in this rant that says nothing. It's a word salad.
The spiritual reality that we know.
When you
currently.
say interdimensional beings, that they know that these are interdimensional beings, how do they know that?
Yeah, very good question. How do they know these are interdimensional beings that are beyond our 3 dimensions?
Based on testimony, would be based on witnesses that have come forward. But what I can tell
So
you
the
is
witnesses just were told that they were interdimensional?
that they've seen things.
They have seen things with their 3-dimensional eyes. Remember our little fella? All right. Seeing the cube? But this cube is still in 2 dimensions. Yeah.
And what I can tell you without getting into classified conversations is that there have been incidences that I believe where very credible people you lost me at that point, have reported that there have been movement outside of time and space.
That's very vague.
Yeah. So, look.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Look. Have I seen a portal open? No. Have I seen a spaceship? Personally, no. Have I seen evidence of this? Yes. Have I seen photo documentation of aircraft that I believe were not made by mankind? Yes.
Photo documentation. You saw a picture. You have you realized in how many ways one can doctor a picture? You know, Photoshop is a technology that we actually use. Like, we have been using it for like a quarter of a century.
Is there historical significance to this? Yes. Is there multiple events that go back to, I would argue, maybe even before the time of Christ that have documented this in text? Yes. So do I believe that the government has access to certain...
It would be a bit of the difference. The quality of the equipment to measure, the changes in physics and stuff that we have now than the times before Christ. So right now we have a better understanding if something really breaks the laws of physics, but Representative Luna has not said a single thing about that. So that makes me think that she's not for real.
Technology, yes, to an extent. And I believe that certain contractors potentially have back engineered this tech. I think that that's what can explain the advancements that we're seeing.
Okay, and that is way beyond. Imagine that we capture a spaceship, and we not only have the ability to tell that it is piloted by interdimensional beings that are beyond our dimensions, but we are able, with our monkey brains, 3-dimensional brains, to reverse engineer the technology that allows you to travel among dimensions, because you're interdimensional, and use it. This is somehow a secret, or not used in a way that changes the landscape of the world. If this technology was real, well, there would be no wars. It would be that simple. That the United States would rule the world. Again, I don't think this is truthful, but I would like to know what do you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Bottle Language Guy. Much love and bliss.